Alright guys, good evening and welcome back. Alright, so if you have been a regular follower on this my channel, you will notice that I do post most of my cutting videos. Now the reason I had to post it is because for us to be well grounded on cutting, and then when I bring up the sewing aspect, all of us can now flow. Now bear in mind that some of these sewing are related, like they are interrelated, little differences or little changes. So here I want to teach us how to sew our English trouser using the suit method, the suit pattern method. So here I have my gum stay. As you can see, I am trying to iron out the gum stay. The iron is not too hot. It is going to be a warm or a bit hot heat, right? Then fold as seen. Please, if you are following my footsteps or my methods, make sure you follow the guideline I am going to outline for you in this video. So fold as seen, as the number of foldings you are seeing, follow the process, right? And then for some of us who might be confused on why I am using gumster to sew, it's just to show you how you can also use gumster in your trouser sewing, right? So here I am marking out the all components or compartments needed. So I just had to cut out a straight line here. Now this will also be used in the other gummings or the flap or any other area. So now the first thing I am marking out here now mainly is 2.5 inches, which is serve me for my band, right? 2.5 inches. So make sure you watch the video to the end for you to follow all the steps I will undergo in making this English trouser. So I will also take my time to label the measurements and also label the areas which I have cut out or I am marking out now. So kindly watch the end and make sure you follow all the processes needed. So if you're a first time viewer, please kindly subscribe to my channel and also turn on the post notification bell, so whenever I make new videos just such like this, you will be notified, and you have the chance to watch it immediately. So I will label them out. Just note the measurements where I am marking. I will label out all the parts here, right? So I will label them out. Just stay tuned. Now I had to leave the video on a normal track video for us to see or learn how all of these things are done, right? So bear in mind I am gumming like two trousers here, so that is why I am having a lot of markings and a lot of boxes here. But if you are making only one trouser, you might need lesser, right? So the first three are for the band, the last four flap, and then welt pocket. The inches for the band is 2.5, for the flap is 3 inches, and for the welt pocket is 4 inches. Now I have taken my time to label them out for you to see clearly and also note the measurements I use. Now I just had to use 1 yard of gum stay, fold into this fold, like 4 folds or thereabout. Yeah, 4 folds, that before I start marking out these. Please make sure you follow the same process or the same procedure which I use or I'm using here in this video. So now I know how to slant out the front panel and as well notch the pockets as seen, then notch the zip area as well, and then I'm trying to gum the side pockets. So you pick up the first cutout you used and then you gum at the pocket edge just as seen or as shown, and then you make sure the gumming is properly done, right? So I am trying to explain all of these things to us in a sequential manner. Then you fold as well in this form, so I am gumming the two trousers I just cut together. Bear in mind this is for the same customer, like one person owns the both trousers. That's the reason I had to cut them together. But if you have different two persons measurements that are not the same, please kindly cut them one after the other. Never you cut two persons of different measurements together, right? So now I am trying to explain these things to us as well before we proceed to the sewing proper. So now I am folding the back waist. Now this folding is going to come to the real front, like from the wrong side to the front. This is where the folding is coming. I'm folding the back. Remember that the back panel, we added extra 3 inches. Now that 3 inches will serve us for this folding. Now this folding is in form of bias or piping, right, for the back waist. So you must fold first. Now the folding is 1/4 of an inch, right, just 1/4 inch that way. Just fold once. Now the next folding will be done with the help of your sewing machine. So fold the same thing on both of them. Now the folding will come from the wrong side to the right side, right? So you just have to fold it in this manner. Then you will see the reason when we start stitching or when we start sewing. So just carefully fold this. Then this will save you the cost of using bias, and as well, if you can't get a matching bias color for your trousers, you don't need to worry about. So this will go a long way to help you to use the same fabric of your material as in form of bias, but it will be added together when you are cutting the back waist, right? This is just going to be more precise and finer when done properly. Then I am done folding the back panel. So I will just send it out to the machine, and then the front panel as well is done. So the next thing I will also do is to fold the back panel of this other trouser panel as well. So still fold from the right side coming out to the wrong side, from the wrong side, sorry, coming out to the right side, right? That you fold inside out, right? Inside out. So coming out this way, then making sure that it is properly relaxed. Then I have to use my cooler and cool it off this way, and then retain the same folding on the other side as well. So carefully do this. Don't be in a haste to do any of this, right? Don't be in a haste to do any of this. Gently you do this all through this way, making sure that it's lapping properly. Please, it must lap properly. Fold all through this way, fold all through this way, and then you use your cooler as well to cool it off, and you now proceed with the other components gumming, so which I will also show you as we progress in this video. So make sure you watch the video to the end, and if you're a first-time viewer, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Invite your friends to come and learn with us on how to make proper male clothing. Now this channel is one of the best channels you can meet on YouTube that teaches male fashion designing with the simplified method and approach without confusing our viewers or subscribers. So here I am trying to cut out the required components needed for other areas, right? So just watch carefully and see what I will cut. I'm trying to differentiate the front from the back by dropping a little chalk at the edge of each of those fabric in order not to be confused which is the right, which is the front, or which is the back, right? All right, so now I am gumming the band. So I just had to use the measurement of 2.5 inches which I have cut out from the gum stair to gum the band. Then I will trim off excesses at this point. Now the 2.5 is all I need for my band width, right? Please watch carefully how this will be done. Then I have to use the remaining fabric to also gum another components of the band in order to have a long band enough for me to use for my sewing, right? So just stay tuned, watch the video to the end. You will see how everything will be properly sewn and made use of, right? Alright, so now after gumming, you now have to fold here by half an inch or 3/4 inch for you to use it to sew your band. So the same thing is applicable to this point. So I'm just trying to show us the folding stages so that we don't make mistakes or have any problems or whatsoever. So fold the band in that form, and then the next thing to do here now is to cut out the back pocket plackets and what we'll be needing for other pocket facings, right, and flap and everything. So my flap is going to be in a straight form this way, so which I'll also show you guys. So when you use the 4 inches measurement you gum it all through this way. You know there are 2 layers there, so I have to gum one of the wrong side and the other one as well on the wrong side. So now after that, then the next to do is to cut your belt loop or for your welt pocket placket. So you just have to cut out these measurements from what I have outlined for you. Now here I am trying to cut out my linings. I will use linings for the white trouser, and then use the colored one for the colored trouser as well. So make sure you use white linings. So it will also be very important you also learn how to cut your lining. Now the current method to cut your lining is to make sure that the lining edge or the English mouth of the lining is at the lap area. Please note importantly, then from here you cut out the exact size on this crotch area. Cut it out all through this way, and then once you cut to that very point, then you are going to address or shift the trouser backwards. Before then you have to cut out the waist region in this form, and then after which you now adjust the trouser backwards, which I will show you the results or the effects as we proceed. Then from here you now gently adjust the trouser backwards like 3 inches or 2.5 inch backwards, which will be used to make sure that the lining is a bit excess so that it doesn't compress or stretch or inconvenience the trouser panels. You know, while sewing, when you fix the lining, you should be having a pleating at the middle part of the trouser. So then you have to make sure you have that enough allowance there. Then you cut out all through this way, make sure it's lapping as shown, right? So once you cut it out, you are done cutting the lining. Then you now go ahead and cut the pocketings, which can be 14 inches by 14 or 13 by 13 for the front panel, for the front pocketing. And then you cut the back pocketing by 8 inches by 20. Then when you fold, it's 8 inches by 10, right? So all of these are what you are going to cut. So I will just try to make the video to be faster now, so that we don't waste much time on our video, so that we can now go ahead and do our sewing. So here I am using 15 inches width, which will still be trimmed when you are sewing on the main trouser. Alright guys, so now we are trying to sew. So I will start with the back, that's the white trouser. So now the back panel where we first folded by 3/4 inch, then I had to fold again with that same size, right? Fold it again so that it will give you that bias effect or that bias looks or finishing, right? Look at how I am threading it. Then once you fold again, you are going to fold it, thread it at the tip of the folding. That's, you have to do a double fold there. Now the one you use iron to fold is one, then the one you will fold again manually with your hand is two, right? Now make sure that the second folding is also taking bearing from the first folding, so you thread it all through that way. All right, so now after the back sewing, so I'm trying to place my dart. So the dart on the back will be placed at, from the straight line, 5 inches inwards, and then the dart depth remains 3.5, and then the dart leg is half an inch, right? So you have to measure 3.5 inches that way, and then you place the darts at that position. Then make sure that the dart does not have any pointed edge. So you sew the dart all through this way. Then after this, the next thing to do here, cut a thread as well, and then do the same thing on the other panel as well. Alright, so now after you must have fixed your darts, now the next is to mark the pockets, the wells pocket opening. So which the width we want to use here is 5 inches. That's the pocket opening will be 5 inches, the pocket mouth for the wells pocket, so which I will place at 2.5 inches. But then before I do that, I will also repeat the same darting I did on the first panel on the other panel. So after the darting, I will come back and show you guys how to do wells pockets. Alright, so now I have finished fixing my darts at the back panel. So the next thing to do here first is to iron it out, and then you have to use gum stain to gum the tip where the dart ended from the inside. So after you must have done that, then the next thing to do is to fix your pocket. Now remember that this pocketing is being cut at 15 inches width by 15 inches depth by 14 inches width, right? So however, you can still make 14 by 14, is still going to give you the same thing. So after that, you now bring the front panel of the trouser, and then you place this way. Now this is just another method to fix front pockets, so just stay tuned, watch the video to the end for you to learn how to do all of this, right? So I would suggest you make use of an earpiece for you to pick up the wordings or the words or the explanations I am giving in detailed form. Then thread the pockets as shown. Make sure you thread the so after this, now you notch the lining, and then you're going to cut out the underneath lining, right? Cut it out, so which still gives you the same thing as when you slant before you fix. So whichever one you want to do is still going to give you the same finishing results or answer. So I will allow you guys to watch the video, and where necessary I will have to explain for you, I will explain for you. But by mere watching, you understand a whole lot which I am showing in details in this sewing video.